Hey friends, welcome to the Sunday Knitting Society podcast. My name is Chelsea and I'm a knitter in Oklahoma City. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. Oh man, it's been 3 weeks. I had every intention of coming back last week, and then I looked down at all the stuff I had been working on and realized it was this. That was it. I don't know if I'd even finished it by the time I would have talked about it last week. But I was like, I've literally worked on one project for 2 weeks. I was like, this is all I would have had to talk about. And so I was like, let's, plus last week was busy or it was on the tail end of busy, and it was just like, let's just skip a week. So, yeah, so we're in December. Woohoo. The weather here has 100% turned cold. It is, I think it's 40 degrees this morning. It's 46 right now, which for us is cold. I'm realizing all the dog hair that's on the sweater. So my sister and I ran the turkey trot at Thanksgiving, which was my first turkey trot ever. I think it might have been, I don't think it was my sister's first race. Lolly wants to say hi. She's a good girl. She's very itchy lately. Yeah, I don't think it was my sister's first race, but she's not someone who runs a lot. But we decided to do the turkey trot, and it was really fun. And my nieces, actually, my brother-in-law brought my nieces to the finish line, and it's just so funny, the difference in their personalities. Charlotte, the older one, had made a costume out of a cardboard box, and when she saw us coming towards the finish line, was like vibrating with excitement. She just was so happy to see us and to show off her costume, and she was just soaking in the vibes of the race and loving it. And Robin, the little one, was pouting, sitting down on the curb because she was cold and she was hungry, and she realized she wasn't getting a medal. She did not want to be there. But it was really fun. And because my younger niece was so focused on getting a medal, we actually decided, go lay down, Lily. We decided to sign up for the Santa run, which was earlier today. I'm recording this on Saturday, but okay, go lay down. We signed up for the fun run, which is a mile long, and went with both my nieces and my sister, and we actually dressed up. So I had this headband with a light up Christmas tree on top, and frilly red socks, and one of my nieces dressed up like Santa, and the other one dressed up like an elf. It was really cute. But we started running, and my sister knew. She's like, okay, the little one is gonna run. She is just pure energy. And so she's like, I will try to keep up with her. And the older niece, Charlotte, she's like, I don't think she's gonna run this whole thing. And sure enough, we start running for a little bit. She goes, I need to walk. And I was like, okay. She goes, I have short legs and this is really hard. She's like, I've never run a marathon before. And I'm like, honey, you're not running a marathon. You're running a mile. So I kept having to correct her. I was like, this is not, you have not done a marathon. This is not a marathon. You're not allowed to sign up for a marathon at your age. But we kept going, and we were she and I were chit-chatting, because we would run for a short burst and then walk and then kind of go back and forth. And we were talking about it, and she was like, I really think that I'm built for speed, but just not for races. It's like, we did a mile in 21 minutes. So I don't think any of us were built for speed today, but it was really fun. It was cold. And my sister and I have kind of a joke that we do back and forth. So I often go through my closet and get things to give to Goodwill or to charity that I'm not going to use anymore. And my mom and my sister always go through my stuff and kind of get first dibs on it before I take it to Goodwill. And so my sister will sometimes send me a picture, and she's like, I'm 50% Chelsea, because she's wearing a top that I gave her, but her pants are her own or something like that. And so today she was like, I think I'm 75% Chelsea. And I always say how much percent I am, or what percent I am, based on what I'm wearing or how much of what I'm wearing I've made. And so the race day was 75% Chelsea, and I looked down and I don't have a single knit on or something I've sewn. I was not thinking that like, hey, we're gonna have to stand around in sub 40-degree weather with no sunshine because it's all foggy and cloudy today. And maybe a hat would be a good idea. Didn't think through that. Maybe a sweater or some little socks or something. No. So I froze. But it was really fun, and I'm really glad we got to do that. And both girls got medals. They actually got their medals handed to them or put around their necks by Miss Oklahoma, which was really fun. Whew, so yeah, that's been my day. I cannot wait to just sit in my jammies for the rest of the day. Well, I have to do some chores and stuff, but like for the most part, sit and knit for the rest of the day and just enjoy. Calm. But let's get into knitting. So I am wearing my Spacetime pullover by Heidi Kirrmaier. This sweater almost wasn't. So this is a really pretty pattern. I made the ribbed collar with the rolled edge. Same thing for the cuffs. Same thing on the bottom as well. It's kind of got, I don't know if you can really see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it like radial increases. So it's kind of a circular yoke, but the increases are visible in the sense that you can kind of see it in the patterning. And I like that. That's kind of what I wanted. I had to restart this once because she writes patterns different than any other patterns I've ever done before. And it really took, like, it was really hard at first for my brain to like get that and understand what we're doing. Once I got it, it was a lot more intuitive. There is still a fair amount of counting in this, at least in the yoke. So if you're somebody who does not like to count a lot when they knit, probably not the best. It does fit really well. I appreciate that. The only thing I need to do is I wove in my ends in the back so well that I actually can't ever figure out which side's the front and the back. And I don't feel like the short rows are really drastic on this, or at least they aren't the way that I blocked it. And so I have to like put it on and feel like, is it trying to strangle me? Okay, I have it on backwards, you know? So I need to like go in, and I usually just get a contrasting color yarn and just tie it a little bitty knot in the back so I can find the back. I think that's just better than, I don't always like tags because they itch. So, what was I say? Okay, yeah, so I will say, if you ever decide to knit this pattern, what tripped me up is, so you have your beginning of round marker, and then you have markers at raglans and in between, like in the middle of the sleeves. And she names all of those markers. So it's like front right raglan, front left raglan, back right raglan, back left raglan, something like that, and then like center right sleeve or something. But she only defines those abbreviations because it's like FRR, front right raglan. She only defines those abbreviations when she first says like where, so like place these markers, and she'll say like this marker and then what it means. So they're not in the glossary kind of thing in a pattern where they say like MR1, make one right, or M1R, you know, like that kind of stuff, where they list out what all the abbreviations mean. And so she, later on in the pattern, it says like knit to the second marker and then do something. And it said like knit to second marker, center right sleeve or something, or SR, CRS or something. And I didn't even like, I tried to look for that abbreviation, couldn't find it, gave up. And I was like, well, second marker, obviously beginning of round is 1, second is the next one. That is wrong. She actually counts the beginning of round markers like 0, and then the next one is marker 1, and then marker 2. And so that really threw me. And once I got that, I was good. So, but I would just say pay attention to the names of your markers. I think that helps. And there is a diagram. I just didn't look at it because I assumed I knew what I was doing. So, but yeah, it fits really well. I made this out of Explorer Knits and Fibers. I believe it's the Rockies DK. It's the one that's non-superwash, and it's the colorway Beet Juice. So in a perfect world, if I was knitting with hand knit or hand-dyed yarn, something like this where it's all one color, I would have helical knit it. But because you are doing increases at such like small increments throughout here, I was kind of worried that like, because with helical knitting, it's like you're constantly shifting back like 2 to 3 stitches. And so if you like, you're slipping stitches throughout here. And so I was kind of worried that at some point, and probably multiple times, I was going to end up at the point where I was supposed to increase, like slipping those stitches. And so my brain was already struggling with this pattern. I didn't want to introduce another element of complexity and do a helical knitting. So I didn't. And you can kind of tell. So it's not as bad. I mean, it is on camera. You can definitely see where my different, and it kind of is at the bottom a little bit. This one, I don't think you can see as much, but I don't like, the camera amplifies that, so you see it more, but in real life, it kind of looks like there's a little blip here, but then it doesn't look as bad throughout the rest of the sweater. So I don't care too much. I also made sure that for my sleeves, the skein I used for my sleeves was a darker skein, so it just kind of works on both. But I love this color. It's so bright. It's so cheerful. I wore this literally the first day it was dry. So my house is cold. I always keep it cold in the winter. I enjoy wearing all my woolies, and so if I keep my house too warm, I don't get to wear them. And I'm not really outside that much, and so plus I don't want to spend a ton of money on heating. So I usually keep my house, like it's set right now to 67, and I might at some point in the winter heat it a little bit more, but I probably won't go above 69 at the highest. So my house is cold. So that the downside to that is things dry slow. Even with the fan on them, they still dry slow. I also just, the sun isn't as intense, and so I can't just like stick them in front of a sunny window and hope they dry. It won't happen. So yeah, this took like 3 days to dry, but like the first morning I was getting ready and I felt that it was actually dry. I was like wearing this. And so I've actually been wearing my go-to winter uniform is a dress with a sweater on top. And I love it. It means I get to wear dresses that would typically be like summery, like spaghetti strap dresses are perfect because they're low bulk, and so I get to wear a sweater over it. It just looks like I'm wearing a longer skirt. It's fantastic. It does mean my legs get really cold. I don't like tights either. I actually tried to wear tights to work one day this week, and I made it inside the building and immediately went to a bathroom and took off the tights. I was like, I hate the way they feel. I hate that they catch on clothes and they like make your dress ride up. I hate that. And I'm tall enough that if I don't get the tall tights, they start falling down. Like they irritate me. So I have tights, but I don't want to wear them. I actually bought a pair of fleece lined tights, but they're the kind that don't have a foot. They just go to your ankle and they end. And they are so comfortable. I actually just bought a second pair because they're wonderful. But I digress. So this was my only garment FO. I am in the thick of Christmas knitting. I'm so glad I finished my niece's sweaters and scarves already because those are the biggest knits. But the plan was to finish this sweater and then cast on a Christmas sweater and start making all my final small Christmas gifts. But I'm sure this happens to everyone. I'm sure I'm not the only one that you go in strong. Like I'm knitting these Christmas gifts and that is it. And then suddenly you start adding on more and more things. So I have a list on my phone right now that's 12 deep of things I need to make for Christmas. And they're small, but it's like, I need to finish these. So I'm not going to show these because there's really nothing to show at this point, but all of my family members, like all my immediate family and then my grandmas, are both getting socks for Christmas. But I'm getting my circular sock machine out, which is going to be kind of fun because I've only ever assembled it one time before and then I disassembled it, and I hope I took pictures or a video. But yeah, I'm going to crank sock tubes, and then all I have to do are cuffs, heels, and toes. My mom requested knee-high socks. So, originally I had yarn picked out that was going to be her, like it fit her personality. But because knee-high socks are basically like at least twice as long in the leg than I would normally make, I'm not gonna have enough yarn in that color. So I basically had to go through my stash and like break up a sweater quantity, which it was a sweater quantity that I probably wasn't actually gonna make a sweater out of. So I usually do I say usually, I have done it, one time before I disassembled my circular sock machine. But I like to do a multi-day process. So like the goal for today and tomorrow is just to cake up all of the yarn that I plan to use. And then I'm going to get out my cone winder, which I got from Joyce Knits and Sews. Love it. I think I have 5 cones that I can use. I need to look and see if I have more. So I won't be able to do all of them at once, but the idea is that I'm going to wind all the yarn onto cones, and then we get out the circular sock machine and start cranking. Now, I just remembered when I put away my sock machine, the little like bonnet, is that what they call it? The like little starter sock did not make it in. I think I know where it is. So I have to figure out how to change out my cylinder, which I've never done before. I don't think it's hard, but I have a 64 and a 72. So for my mom, my sister, and my grandmas, I'm going to use the 64 stitch cylinder. And for my brother-in-law, my dad, I'm going to use the 72. So we'll see. But yeah, so those have to be done. I still have to finish my niece's hats and mittens, which, thank you guys. The resounding suggestion for socks was The World's Simplest Mitts by Tin Can Knits. So I will probably do those for the mittens. I'm only making mittens for them, so that should be pretty easy. And I think I'll probably do like a PurlSoho pattern for their hats, just because I've made it before, so it's easy. But that is that. And then I always, in my friend group, anytime somebody has a baby, I knit them a baby bear hat. So I need to make 4. I have 1 left. So look at this little hat. This is for the newborn size. This is the Rail Bear Beanie by Pernille Larsen. It is such a simple pattern. I've made a different one. I forget what it's called. And this one you actually have to like sew the ears on. And so you make a front of the ear, a back of the ear, seam them together, and then sew it on. And I hated that because you had to get them at exactly the right spot. With this one, you build it into the pattern and then you seam them together in the back. And then you actually seam down this. So I always do it on the inside. It does make a ridge, but it's a soft ridge, so I don't think it matters. But like there, you just seam up the back, seam up the ears, and then you cast on for your ties. But this one took me 2 hours, 3 hours for the newborn size. The biggest one I've made is the 9-month size. This one took me more like 6 hours. It is fingering weight yarn, but it's for a little girl and it's gonna be so cute. This one, we don't know the gender yet. They aren't born yet. So I think the baby's gonna be born in January. This one, I actually don't know this kid or the parents, but it's the siblings of a friend of mine. They're having a baby. And then this one, this one is actually such a sweet story and I love it so much. So this kid and his family are new to our little friend group, and they are in the process of adopting this little boy, and he's about to be 4 months, or he is 4 months right now. So this is a 6-month size, but they're getting this next week, and then the week after that his adoption is final. So I'm thinking of this as his little gotcha hat, which I just love. So I have one more to make. It's also going to be a 6-month, and it's going to be in this green because I let the parents choose what color they get. So they're so cute. They're so tiny and I love them, and they're so quick. So one more hat. I literally just cast it on, but I will hopefully finish it today. So there's that. Okay. So the last project for today, like I said, I was going to cast on a Christmas sweater, but then I started thinking about it, and I think I just picked the wrong yarn for a Christmas sweater. So I love this yarn, don't get me wrong. I picked the good wool from PurlSoho, and excuse me, I ate lunch right before I came up here, and the more I talk, the more I want to burp. So I've got a red, I got this green, and I got a cream, and I think they're so pretty. I actually think this one's my favorite. It's just, so pretty. But this is, in my opinion, this is kind of a light decay. They call it a light decay to worsted. Or maybe, do they call it a heavy decay? Yeah, no, sport to light worsted decay. So big range. But what I really wanted to make with it was more of a sport weight. And this is a DK weight. And this still took me 3 weeks of monogamous knitting. And so I was kind of worried that, like, even if I'd cast this on last week, I was essentially going to maybe get a week of wearing it. And like, I don't have any Christmas parties the week of Christmas. We just have Christmas. So it kind of felt like a lot of wasted effort. So I think what I'm going to do is instead, sorry, well, you're shaking the camera. I'm going to work on this next year earlier so that I actually can wear it the month of December. That's going to be the goal. So I also decided I'm not going to cast on a sweater until Lolly, I need you to back up. You are a distraction. You're lovely, but you're a distraction. Anyway, so I decided not to cast on a sweater until I finish. Well, I always like to cast one on Christmas Eve and see if I can finish it. Well, this one I'm not going to finish by New Year's. It would be nice if I did. I mean, I guess there's a possibility I'd finish it by New Year's. But I didn't take time off around Christmas this year, so I'm trying to save up all my PTO. So, yeah, so I just don't have that time. But I started a project months ago. I don't remember how many months. And it is the Pinwheel blanket from PurlSoho. And I just decided, since my house is cold, I want to finish this blanket. So you make 20 of these squares, and they're basically like little half and half triangle wraps, like miniature ones that you just keep connecting until you seam them up together. So I have 8. Is that right? 2, 3, 4. I'm missing one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7. My math was all. What? Oh, yep. That's math. Math is hard. I have 7 of them. I've blocked 6 of them. So I've got the lavender, fuchsia, kind of like a wine color, a peach, a brown, and a cobalt. And then I just finished the purple. I need to block this one. I've been blocking them to 11-inch squares because that seems like the most realistic. So I have all my purples done. I am starting on all the pink/reds. And then I have greens, blues, and neutrals to get through. And I'm gonna try to finish this by Christmas. I don't think that's doable, but the goal is to get it done very soon this year. I actually really enjoy these, and what I like about them too is that it's not just like a granny square and it's like you finish one, great, now you have 100 more. This is like there's only 20 of them, and I already have 7 done, and I've already cast on number 8. So, and if I like only do these, I could probably get done like 2 a weekend. So there is a lot of like cutting the yarn and reattaching new yarn, and it's back and forth small. It's like 24 stitches is the longest you'll ever knit. So like it is a lot of back and forth, and you do have to pay attention to it, but it is intuitive, and like I get it at this point. So I think every time I like hit a milestone with the Christmas knits, I'm gonna reward myself with like a square, kind of. So like I'm doing a baby hat tonight. I have one other, I forgot to mention this. I'm making a hat for a Dirty Santa party. I've shown it on here before. I probably won't get a chance to show it because the party's next week. But I will take a picture and show it next time. It's a recurring Dirty Santa gift that I make. And I enjoy it. Although, so it uses a stitch pattern, like a graph, like from the it uses a graphed like stitch pattern, but there's no instructions. And so I was like, I know somewhere I wrote down what needle size to use and how many stitches to cast on. And thankfully I did. I found it buried in my like knitting cabinet over here. So I at least know what to do. So it makes it a little bit easier. Okay. This is gonna be a short one. All I have left are acquisitions. If you are not an acquisition person, I get that. I will see you back at least in 2 weeks. If I'm really feeling like it, I might come back for a short one next week. We'll see. Kind of just depends on how the week's run. Okay, so there is a yarn I wanted to try and a color that I kind of wanted to try, but it is very out there. And so I put a poll up on Instagram and asked people, should I use this for my Christmas sweater or no? And the vast majority said yes. So I bought it. Let me get the, so I've already swatched with this. It's so bright. This is a new yarn from PurlSoho. It's called Paintbrush Mohair, I think. So it is a like Aran weight mohair, which I'm not a mohair person, but this just really, I think because it's such a chunky weight. So this is a little different. I got a lot of them. So it is 120 yards and 50 grams. It is 75% kid mohair and 25% Peruvian Pima cotton. So the core on this is not silk, it's cotton. So I was worried that the cotton in this would stretch, which would make the mohair just kind of like, if I made a sweater entirely out of this, it was just gonna like stretch over time. So what I did was I paired it with some linen quill, because this is wool, and it's wool, linen, and alpaca, I think. Yeah, so 50% fine Highland wool, 35% alpaca, 15% linen. So I got some of these and I swatched, and it is giving tennis ball in the best way possible. It like no one will ever lose me. So I swatched with this. This is on a 10.5, US 10.5, mostly because I don't know where my 10 went. I think I'm using it on my Doppio, which has not seen any progress in months. I actually don't 100% know where my Doppio is, where that project bag is, but I'm pretty sure my US 10 is on there. But I still feel like with the 10.5 it's quite gapey, My gauge is also bigger. So I was planning to make a lento with this, which is knit on a 10, but it's 15 stitches to 4 inches, I believe. This is 16 stitches to 5 inches. So it's too big of a gauge. So then I looked up and I think the turtle dove is closer. So I might make a modified turtle dove. I don't know if I want that deep of a raglan though. I guess I could just do my increases faster and make the raglan less deep. But, I mean, it's not see-through at this point. And I would probably always have something on underneath this because I do find mohair a little itchy. This mohair is pretty nice though. I don't find it super itchy, so I don't know. I don't actually know what I'm gonna do. Sorry, I'm just, oh, okay, never mind. I just was looking at one of my neighbor's houses and it looked like they were closing in their garage door with drywall. They were not. It was their window I was seeing and they had blinds down. Distractible. But yeah, so I'm not quite sure what pattern I'm doing. Probably the turtle dove. I love my turtle dove. That would mean it would be like 3/4 length sleeves because I don't think I have enough to do full length sleeves on that. We'll see. I could do the body first and then whatever I have left for the sleeves, just finish that off. So I'm gonna look like a tennis ball. It's gonna be great. It's so bright, but it's also like, if there's a better time, I don't know a better time to knit something this bright, because it's gonna be dark and gloomy outside and this is just joy. So yay. Okay, that is the brightest thing I bought by a long shot. I also bought an extra skein of this in wheat flour. This is the linen quill because that's the neutral color I was using on that blanket and I knew I was going to be one short, so I bought an extra one. They also always throw in a free sample, which I love. So this is good wool and I think it's in well water, which is so pretty. I love this color. Probably won't knit with this right now in this dark, even though that was quite beautiful. This would just be hard to knit with when it gets dark out so quickly. Okay, I think I have one more month of this. Yeah, this was the November. So this is my Little Fox Yarns Wes Anderson Sock Club. So if you do not want to see, look away. This is Fantastic Mr. Fox. So is that right? Yeah. One of my favorite Wes Anderson movies. I thought this was actually the first one that I missed in January, but it was not. So I don't know what the last one will be next month because I feel like we've done almost all of them that I'm aware of. So we'll see, but I really like this. Okay, the last purchase was from Sonder Yarn, which I have to tell you, okay, I knit, where is it? It's you can't see it. It's this one. This is my Louvre sweater from Petite Knit, and I knit it in Sonder Yarn Sunday DK. That yarn I think might be my all-time favorite yarn. Like, the color palette's amazing. I mean, you can go from like something this bright to something very muted and neutral. It felt so nice to knit with it. Like, my hands felt better when I knitted with it. But when I wear it, it is just extreme cozy. Like, it is hardy enough that it doesn't pill a ton, but there's nothing rustic about it. It regulates heat really well. So like, I've worn this to work twice already this season, and it's like, I just keep thinking how, like, it feels like, you know, when your house is cold and you're snuggled in bed and you just feel perfectly warm. That's what it feels like when I wear that sweater. So all that to say, I did not buy more of that yarn, but I'm like kicking myself for not buying more of that yarn because I wish I had. But I really love her. So it's Melissa Clulo. Her sweater patterns, I think, are just so timeless and effortless and so pretty. And she just posted a new one and had kits for it, so that had to happen. So this is the new sweater. It's called the Pocket Edition. So you see it has like a little pocket on the front, but it's just a big, like oversized, very simple finishing. It does have my favorite ribbed hem with the end that's just a few rows of stockinette, so it curls a little bit. One of my favorites. Actually, it looks like that's everywhere. Perfect. But it's like oversized and loose. So I bought a kit for that. And to make up for the neon green situation, we got it in a much more muted colorway. I also I really needed some more good neutrals because I do wear a lot of color and I love color, but sometimes I just want a good neutral. So this colorway is Catnap, and I got that in her Haven, which is a lace weight, 75% Falkland Merino, 12.5% BFL, and 12.5% Mash M. So it's like, it's a lot, 711 yards. So it is so soft and so lovely. And then I also got Halo, which, who am I getting all this mohair? So this one's 72% mohair, 28% silk, and it is 459 yards. But they just look, this is such a good warm neutral, and it just, oh, it's gonna be so squishy. I almost wound this up this week until I decided no more sweaters until I finish the blanket. So, oh, this might be very early next year that I cast this on. And then if I had thought of this before, this could have been my Christmas sweater, but I didn't. So I have some lovely yarn that I bought somewhere in Scandinavia. I don't remember what country I was in when I bought it. I think I bought this in, yep, never mind. I don't know. So I got some Isager Tvinny. Actually, I ordered this online. I did buy some Isager Tvinny when I was on my trip, but I didn't buy this one. This one I already had at home. So this is a lace weight yarn. It's all in, oh no, there's English. Pure new wool. It's 510 meters per 100 grams. So it is a lace weight. And if I remember right, I think they actually have it divided into 2 skeins because you're supposed to hold it double. So, and this is Tart Cherry. It's also colorway 28. But as lovely as this was, I really wanted a fuzzy yarn with it. And I initially had some mohair, but I didn't really love the mohair that I had with it because some mohairs I can do okay with, but on the whole, I do better with Surrey alpaca than I do with mohair. So Sonder had some of their haze, which is 75% Surrey alpaca, 25% silk, and this is in the Siren colorway. And you guys, this is such a perfect match. Like, I am just, when I pulled these out and looked at them, I was like, it's like they were made for each other. So this will be another sweater I make in the new year at some point. So I kind of like, gotta stop buying yarn and just start knitting. Okay, I will say one thing. I won't do this for this thing I'm thinking about, but my birthday's in February. And one day last week, 2 weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, I just suddenly had an inspiration and did it. So I am doing a solo trip to Disney World on my birthday. And I'm so excited. It's going to be a shorter trip. It's really like 3.5 days. So it's a short, relatively short Disney trip. But where I bring this up is that I'm going to be by myself. And so a lot of the time in Disney World, you are standing in line. And that can be really fun when you have a good group because you get lots of conversation. You can play games. It's fun. But when you're by yourself, it could get kind of boring. So I looked it up, and you are allowed to bring knitting needles into Disneyland or Disney World. So I can knit in line at Disney World. You guys, I'm going to be the coolest nerd in Disney World. So this probably won't come because I also have to carry a very small purse, but I think I'm going to do like a sock or a hat And just like make my little Disney sock while I'm waiting in line to ride Tower of Terror 1,500 times. It's my favorite ride. Oh, if I could just stay on the ride and just ride it over and over and over and over again. Oh, Chelsea heaven. But maybe I'll make this in time for my birthday at Disney World. I think that could be really, really fun. Actually, what could be fun? What if these are the 2 bright sweaters I bring with me to Disney World? Oh man, I'm gonna be quite something at Disney World. I'm actually so excited. You get to book all your dining reservations 60 days out, and I'm getting close to that window, so I've like already planned out my trip. I'm a planner by nature. I love it. So I already have like a rough itinerary. I'm not going to over plan this trip because part of the fun, I actually heard this term recently, land snorkeling. So I guess it first came about, like somebody from the New York Times actually said this term. So it's an idea that you are wandering and you know where you are, but you don't know where you're going. So it's like you're just exploring. And I kind of think of it too, like I will probably have headphones in, at least my earbuds, at least at times, because for me, it kind of helps with the overstimulation of like constantly hearing people around me talking. So I can kind of put the noise canceling on and just like be in my own little world. And I feel like that is kind of akin to snorkeling in a sense that like your hearing is not your best tool when you snorkel. I assume. I've never been snorkeling. But yeah, I just think that's fun. So I'm going to land snorkel at Disney World. It's going to be great. I am an introvert. I do very well traveling alone and being by myself. I'm completely fine with that. I'm talking to myself all the time at home. Can't do that in public as much. That looks weird, but I can land snorkel and just be happy. So it'll be fun. All right. That is everything I have. I cannot believe I talked this long. So yeah, I'll be back at least in 2 weeks. I will probably have a lot to show. All the hats will be gone next week. But so I actually might not have that much to talk about. I'm trying really hard not to buy any more yarn because I now have to pay for Disney World. Yay. So probably won't see many more acquisitions, but that's okay. I have more than I need. But yeah, we'll see if I can finish this blanket by Christmas. I have, I'm on 13 more squares to go. Wow, yeah, actually now that I think about it, I'd basically have to do a square a day, and that's not gonna happen. So we know it's not gonna happen by Christmas, but maybe by mid-January I could be done with this. We'll see. I will most likely, like as soon as the Christmas knits are done, I will probably cast on a sweater for myself because that's just a lot of selfless knitting. I am gonna crank a couple tubes of like sock tubes for myself because if I've got the sock machine out, I might as well. So yeah. Sorry. The weird things I hear when I try to record. Oh my gosh. Okay. This morning at 5 a.m., squirrels started running all along my roof and along the walls of my house, like the exterior walls of my house, and like making lots of sounds, and freaked Lolly out. But then like I just kept hearing them. Like they don't normally run over my house. Like they'll run around it, but they don't normally like run on my roof. And they just seemed extra frisky. And I had to look it up, and we are smack dab in squirrel mating season. So that's fun. We got squirrels making babies all over my house. So yay. I hope that they at least will chill out and not try to procreate on top of my roof before 5 a.m. That would be great. But anyway. I hope you guys have a good couple weeks. I hope you get lots of time for knitting or whatever your craft is. I hope you get to be around some people you love. And I hope you get a chance to move your body, even if it's something as silly as a 1 mile fun run with a bunch of kids. Because because maybe you two were built for speed, just not in a race. But I will see you guys back in a couple weeks. Have such a good time. Bye.